What do you read when life stops making sense? I remember, and I shared this in one of the previous videos, that as a boy I didn't read much. I didn't like books. I didn't like learning for school. It was really hard for me, and I still don't know why it was so hard for me in those early ages of my life. After some things happened to me, and when I became a lawyer and attorney, a lot of work was upon me, a lot of pressure and everything, and I just started reading different books and everything. And then I had some medical issues, and that really rise the whole perspective on how can you help yourself. The books were not just for reading or for entertainment or to get some information. It was becoming, for me, it was becoming the question of meaning. And I remember from probably when I was 3 or 4 years into the attorneyship, and some friends of mine and I we were going on a sales cruise for a week. And I remember a good friend of mine saying, when I was talking about stress and burnout and everything, and he was saying, I know a book for you and I think you would enjoy it. My wife read it and she said it's great book and she loved it, and she even remembered that it would be a great book for me. He told me the author of the book, and I was like, okay, thanks. It's and he told me a little bit about the content of the book, and I was okay. It's interesting, but it's like, just get off my back, and I didn't wanna. We're sailing. I don't wanna think about books and spiritual study and who has problems similar as I just wasn't into it, but it did stay in my mind. So I remember after probably a year or half a year from that experience, I was talking to my friend and I was like, hey, do you remember about the book you were telling me about? And he says, yeah, I remember. And I'm like, can you give me the name of the book again and the author? And he was like, yeah, sure, I don't remember, but I'm gonna ask my wife. And he did, and he gave me the book, and it was the book of Robin Sharma, the bestseller on the monk who sold his Ferrari. And I said thank you, and I think I bought the book, and it was really a great book, and I read it once, and then I did notes, and then I said, okay, there is a lot of material for me here. And from that time on, I just started reading similar books, just to a lot of spiritual books, and how to get better in life, and not just material success, but spiritual success, life success, on what's important in life. And this was coming to my attention, more and more books, different books, from Brené Brown to Joe Dispenza, a lot of really good authors and great books. And I think I even yes, had made a book of wisdom and there's a lot of notes about the books I read. So you can see here, it's really a lot of material here. And let me just check. Yeah, that was from year 2020 to 2021. This was the year I read, I think, about 30 books. And then I made the second one. And all of this was happening in, like I said, 2020, when I had big medical issues, and I could say I was facing my own death. I had problems in my head, some vessels didn't evolve, and I had some rupture and hemorrhage in my head, and I had 3 procedures, and I went to Germany to get some great doctors there who helped me then a lot. But it was like I think it was almost a year of constant battling with what's gonna happen. Will I survive? Will I remember going on my first operation procedure, medical procedure, when I was going to operating room. I was like, I don't know if I'm coming back. So there was this fear, and this fear of dying, and a lot of things changed in my life. A lot of things lost meaning. You know, when you get sick, when you have problems with your health, where you don't know if you're gonna continue your life journey, things just change. Financially, it doesn't matter anymore how much you have. You know, not even friends and family, everything just loses its meaning in a way. I remember then at one time I started just, I had some other problems, and I was just shutting myself down. And of course, my friends and my family didn't understand that. And it was so hard to explain, because you're in this, hole of where there is no light, and it's just hard to see the light, and it's hard to get out of this stupid hole. And it was so hard for me, and I was just starting praying, and just wanted to have some meaning, and to find some guru who can help me out of this situation. And I remember reading a book, Autobiography of a Yogi, from Paramahansa Yogananda, and it was like a book for, this is the book. To short the long story, I started going to his courses and meditation and everything. And I started reading through that courses. I started reading more sacred books like Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, Holy Bible and everything. And I saw that everything that I read before in 10 or 15 years, in those 3 or 4 books, there was all the knowledge which came up to these sacred books. So it was really interesting from my perspective that I was searching so long around, and here was like 1 or 2 books that in a way says it all from my perspective of what I was looking for. So sacred studies is not just reading. It's a discipline, it's a mirror, and it is inside cleansing. You have to read it, you have to embrace it, and then you have to live it in your own life.